Francis Bacon and Sir Francis Drake. Two iconic figures of Elizabethan England, yet embodiments of contrasting paths to glory. Bacon, the philosopher, sought knowledge as power, laying the groundwork for modern science with his emphasis on observation and reason. His ideas would light the way for the Enlightenment, a revolution in thought that shaped the modern world. Drake, the explorer, embodied the era's adventurous spirit, circumnavigating the globe and challenging Spanish dominance at sea. Yet his voyages, while daring and lucrative, were also steeped in the era's ruthlessness, involving privateering, piracy and the slave trade. These two men, seemingly worlds apart, were in fact intertwined, reflecting the multifaceted nature of Elizabethan England. Bacon's pursuit of knowledge and Drake's pursuit of empire were two sides of the same coin, each contributing to Britain's ascent as a global power. Their stories offer a glimpse into a pivotal period of history, a time of exploration, expansion and intellectual ferment, but also one marked by violence, exploitation and moral ambiguity. Understanding their contrasting legacies allows us to grapple with the complex and often contradictory nature of progress itself. Francis Bacon, born into a world still clinging to ancient dogma, dared to envision a new path to knowledge. Rejecting the blind acceptance of classical authorities, he championed empirical observation and inductive reasoning. Bacon believed that knowledge should be based not on speculation or tradition, but on careful observation of the natural world and the systematic testing of hypotheses. His groundbreaking work, Novum Organum, outlined a new system of logic, a radical departure from the Aristotelian methods that had dominated Western thought for centuries. Bacon argued that true understanding could only be achieved through a process of careful observation, experimentation, and the gradual accumulation of evidence. This emphasis on empirical evidence and the scientific method formed the bedrock of the scientific revolution. His ideas found fertile ground in the minds of thinkers like Isaac Newton and Robert Boyle, who would go on to make groundbreaking discoveries that reshaped our understanding of the universe. Bacon's legacy extends far beyond the realm of science. His emphasis on reason and evidence-based inquiry had a profound impact on philosophy, law, and even politics. His vision of a world where knowledge could be used to improve the human condition resonated deeply with Enlightenment thinkers, who saw in his ideas a blueprint for a more rational and just society. Bacon's influence on the Enlightenment, a period of unprecedented intellectual and cultural flourishing, cemented his place as one of the most influential thinkers in Western history. His ideas continue to shape our world today, reminding us of the power of reason and the importance of questioning established truths. While Bacon laid the intellectual groundwork for a new era, Sir Francis Drake embodied the age's thirst for adventure and wealth. A skilled navigator and fearless leader, Drake embarked on voyages that captured the imagination of a nation. His circumnavigation of the globe, a feat of daring and endurance, made him a national hero, solidifying England's place on the world stage. Yet Drake's exploits were inextricably linked to the darker aspects of empire. He was a privateer, authorized by the Crown to raid Spanish ships and settlements, enriching both himself and England in the process. His attacks, often brutal and indiscriminate, contributed to the growing tensions between England and Spain. Drake's involvement in the slave trade further complicates his legacy. He participated in voyages that transported enslaved Africans to the Americas, profiting from a system that inflicted unimaginable suffering on millions. Even his celebrated defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, a pivotal moment in English history, was part of a larger conflict fueled by imperial ambitions and economic rivalry. Drake's story, like that of his era, is a tapestry woven with threads of courage and cruelty, brilliance and brutality. He remains a controversial figure, celebrated for his daring and seamanship, yet condemned for his participation in the horrors of slavery and colonial violence. His life forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that progress and exploitation often went hand in hand during this period of rapid European expansion. Though seemingly disparate, the worlds of Bacon and Drake were implicitly connected, their endeavours intertwined in the nascent British Empire. Bacon's emphasis on observation and experimentation had practical applications in navigation, cartography and shipbuilding, fields essential for Drake's voyages of exploration and conquest. Improved navigational instruments, a direct result of scientific advancements, allowed explorers like Drake to chart new territories, expanding the reach of European powers. The knowledge gleaned from these voyages, the exotic flora and fauna brought back to Europe, provided further impetus for scientific inquiry, fueling the flames of curiosity that Bacon had ignited. The wealth that Drake and other explorers brought back from their voyages, often acquired through questionable means, contributed to the growth of the English economy. This, in turn, provided the resources and patronage that allowed scientific institutions to flourish. The relationship between science and empire was symbiotic, each feeding off the other in a cycle of exploration, exploitation, and advancement. The advancements in shipbuilding, weaponry, and logistics, driven by scientific inquiry, also enabled the expansion of European empires, facilitating the conquest and subjugation of people across the globe. The relationship between Bacon's ideas and Drake's actions highlights the complex interplay between scientific progress and imperial ambition. It serves as a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge, while noble in its own right, has often been intertwined with darker forces throughout history.